I think sometimes it's allowing people to dream and come up with their own ideas as to how they see things going or what they want to do. And one of the things that like I've asked people about it. In fact, have you watched the film Inception?
Time ago.
Right. So
the dream one by yeah.
Bad Boy film. My favorite film.
It
now
confused me. I had a few Inceptions myself.
It confused you, but but I'm break it down. So, like when you were growing up, what did you want to be?
No, I don't even know, but probably say football, innit?
A footballer, yeah? All right. Is there anyone in your family that ever wanted to be a doctor? Or a lawyer? Or one of them, one of those usual...
That actually wanted to?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, bruv, you're killing me, man.
Oh, sorry, my sister. Sorry.
Okay, cool.
Accountant, that's it.
Okay, accountant. Nice.
I forgot. She's going to get to me. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten.
Sis, I'm sorry. I'm about to say something. You're not going to like it, sis. I'm sorry. So...
Yeah.
In Caribbean or Afro-Caribbean culture, a lot of us have had inception done to us.
Yeah.
And a dream has been planted in us that we've always thought was our dream.
Yeah.
But it actually wasn't.
Yeah.
Why? Because mum was always saying, that's my little doctor.
Yeah.
When she grows up, she's going to be a doctor. So you grew up with the idea being planted in your head that you will be a doctor. That's your only choice.
Yeah.
Now that you're a doctor, you love it or you hate it, right?
Yeah.
But we've always grown up with ideas planted in us. Some of us haven't, but majority of us have.
Yeah.
Inception is the same thing, right? How can I implant a dream into someone so that when they wake up, they think it's their idea?
Yeah.
Now, when we're talking about the topic we're talking about, some people want to feel like the idea, the dream is theirs. And if they don't, they can't see it. They can't envisage it. They can't clock onto it. So now how do we get people to realize that this dream works for both of us?
Yeah.
This dream of unity serves you and it serves me.
Well, it's how you market it, man.
How you
got to market in a way that it makes it seem like everyone's involved and we all win.
Again, representation, the narrative.
Yeah.
The UK is just as corrupt as any other nation, but the way we package it is as if it's not.
Yeah.
How can we package this as if it serves both of us? Because the reality of it is that it's not going to serve everybody.
Because everyone's going to make that quick analysis, be like, you're going to make money from this, I'm not helping. It's like
what
what
I'm
you're
saying?
talking about, the whole food thing or the music thing.
Yeah.
There's no message, so you're just going to think to yourself, okay, what's the purpose of this? All right, probably just trying to make money.
Trying to make money.
Yeah.
Trying to make money.
So you're not going to support it.
Yeah. So how, like...
Because what do you get from it?
Do you know what I'm saying? So how do you package something that someone looks at that and says, I can see where it benefits you, but do you know, I can get benefit out of this as well. And not just monetary benefit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think that's the problem. We need to stop as people selling money. Because I think that's the biggest selling point for us.
Yeah.
It's money.
Yeah.
How can we sell it as opportunity, as pride?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Pride in your nation.
Yeah.
How can we sell it as just a duty to your people?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And stop selling it as you're going to be rich.
Yeah.
You know, and
I think the focus has been on money so much that it can, I don't know how to even phrase it, but I feel like it can lose its sort of power in the statements because people focus on like being rich, wealthy, and that, like, then it's getting all egotistical. Even in terms of music, man, you got people talking about people being broke. These times we've all been broke. Now you're at us. Now I feel type of way about you.
We're all eating salmon out of a can. Let's not lie.
now you're shaming, and now you got people wishing for your downfall just because you're trying to. Should have kept it humble.
Yeah, and I think that's the craziest thing about it. Like when money is in play, we lose our mind. Do you know what I mean?
You know what? Remember back in school, sorry, when people tell you scenarios, would you do this for like £1 million? Low key, that shows that at this current rate, we'll do anything for money.
We'll do anything for money.
If anyone said to you, right, cool, I don't know, would you, lick spit for like 100k? You're like, oh yeah, why not? Good thing, innit? Alright, cool. Would you slap my man for 500k? Alright, cool.
Yeah, bro.
Would you kill this man for £1 million? Some people want to contemplate.
Do you know what? That's to make some people like, I don't.
That's fine. Okay, cool. Next minute, all right. I don't really like your boy still, but I want you to take him out, innit? And I'll drop you 10 mil. Yeah. What are people gonna do realistically?
Nah, me, I can't.
Really, it's money. Like
My
not everyone,
heart can't take that.
yeah, your heart, but not everyone's heart is like that. That's what I'm saying. Like when money comes into play,
we'll do
all of a
stupid
sudden,
things.
and that's why you see a lot of people getting snaked. A lot of things happen because we're just going for the money.
Yeah,
and you're losing your mind. That's why, even in Africa, like wherever it is, you can give your, let's say, your rights away just because of the possessions that you're getting.
Yeah. And that's the saddest thing. Like, it's mad. I was having a conversation with some of my boys months ago, and I don't know if you saw somebody, I think from TMZ, was told to go like mess around with Mike Tyson on a plane, and he was bugging Mike. Mike got up and smacked him. Now my boys were saying, like, 20 million on the table. Are you gonna mess around with Mike Tyson and let him smack you? I said, hell yes. And I'm gonna enjoy every minute of it. Yeah. Clearly, I'm not gonna enjoy a broken jaw. Yeah. But hey, that 20 mil in my bank account, stop it. Now, the reality of it is that when money's involved, we do stupid things. We will stab our brother in the back, and we've seen it. When we're now talking about the corrupt nations in across the world, that's what we see, innit? Yeah. Like, isn't there a whole type of madness going on in Sri Lanka right now? Yeah. Because the people are corrupt. Yeah. And they'll stab a brother in the back as long as they can walk away with millions.
Bro, if you think about it, that's the only way we're going to come out of it once we put less respect on the money.
Once we put less value on it.
Let's say someone did create a mad initiative, it's gone really well. All it takes is someone from higher up to be like, stop this, I'll give you this much. Or take this person out, I'll give you this much. Take out this leader. That's all it comes down to, and like, that's all you see. Yeah. So other cultures, they will stick. They'll stick to their values, but no, not at all. Because we hold it to such a pedestal, you're willing to give everything away. Like, it's mad because you're just focused on the short term gain or the fast life. The fast life is not necessarily the best move.
It's not, man.
It comes with the biggest consequences.
It does.
But it gives you that temporary high.
Yeah.
That's what it does.
And I think that's what we've become so addicted to. It's that temporary high. You know, when that money drops into your bank account, for the first couple of days, you go mad. Yeah. You're going Five Guys, you're going Gaucho, you're spending money. And then come the end of the month, the feeling's not the same, innit? Yeah. And I think that's the problem. We are addicted to the temporary high, and we haven't yet realized that sometimes we might have to suffer for a period before we can actually get that high on a consistent level, or until it's not a high, it's just how we are. Yeah. Because we do suffer in the extent that you get paid monthly. Yeah. You're working for free until a month in a sense. Yeah. You're paid in arrears or whatever. Yeah. So you're able to knuckle down in it and just do your thing. But I just feel like personally that as long as you're holding that to such a high degree, the puppet master will always be able to pull your strings around. Yeah. Because they just know all I've got to do is offer this much. Yeah. If your boss says to you, do you know what? I'll drop 5K in your account if you work abroad for the next 2 months. Most people are sitting there and saying, yeah, okay. Because that 5K a month I'm getting is going to be more than what you'd pay me to sit in the UK at my desk for the same 2 months. Do you know what I mean? So, like, that's how much of a, like, and I think that's not just black people. I think that's everybody. Money is a motivator. Yeah. The reason why we'd step on each other's toes is because money is our route out of wherever. And I think that's the problem. We see money as the route out of our ends. We see money as the route out of the hood or whatever. What we don't see is our mindset as the route out. Because the reality of it is that you can be in the ends, but your mind can be elsewhere. Do you know what I mean? Your mind can be on bigger things, but you still go home to the ends. Yeah. And again, I'll say it again, like, we see money as the way out, but it's our mind that's the way out. Yeah. The most successful people I've seen use their initiative. Yeah. Why? Because they had no money. They had to use their initiative to get money. Use your brain. That's what we don't do. We don't use our brain. Yeah. And that's why we think like everybody wants to be a YouTuber. Yeah. Everybody wants to be a singer. Everybody wants to be a football player because we see the money in it. Yeah. What we don't do is we don't use our mind to then create opportunities. Yeah. And if we started using our mind to create opportunities would fall out our lap like it's nothing. 100%. You can even earn more than footballers if you put your mind. Bro. It is, bro. Like, no, you're right. You're right. Like, personally, I feel like your wealth
is in your mind.
Wealth is in your mind all day long. Because it's the ideas. Like, do you know how many people, they say the grave is what the most wealthiest place?
Yeah.
Because it's all the ideas of man that have passed and never got to live the dream, right? Like
it's sad.
It's sad. Your mind is wealth. When you lose your mental faculty, that's it.
Yeah.
What have you got?
Yeah.
You can be buff and good looking. Once your mind is gone,
It's true.
that's it.
Because like you can injure yourself physically, lose your position, but once your mind is gone, you're
boom.
Yeah.
Done. Like you know Stephen Hawking's, the guy who's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Every bodily finished.
Yeah.
Mind though, guy's like one of the smartest guys to live. And he definitely was like a millionaire.
Yeah.
Had to be.
Like, think about all the inventions in this world.
Yeah.
All came from your mind.
All came from your mind. Someone just had an idea.
Yeah.
Someone just dreamt, oh yeah, how can we get light?
Well, my point is, you got to prove people wrong at the same time, because there'll be people telling you that it's impossible for the light to happen, or for a plane to be created, for something to take you from here to another country, for you to go on a vehicle underground. That's what I'm saying. Like, you got to prove it to people until they believe. They're not going to be able to see your vision. You've got to see the picture, even though there's no evidence. And so it's just doing the same thing, the marketing, getting people to believe.
But that's what's mad. Like, back in the day, yeah, everyone said it's impossible to run a 4-minute mile. Yeah, everyone said it was impossible. Up comes this skinny little guy called Roger Bannister.
Yeah,
runs a 4-minute mile. Do you know how many people have run a 4-minute mile since Roger Bannister? Hundreds of thousands. Because all it took was one man to do it.
Man, I heard that once he actually broke the record, it only took like a few months
for the next man to do it. Exactly. So all it takes is what, and that's the thing. That's why we always say, if you've got an idea, hold fast to your idea, because the components for your idea might not have been created yet. When they're created, your idea kicks.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think about like the traffic light. You know, in order for the traffic light to be invented, there had to have been light that was invented first. So, I don't know, someone years before might have thought of an idea of, oh, how can we stop our horses from going wrong ways?
Yeah.
Let's make a traffic light system. But you just needed Edison was it Edison that made the light? I think it was.
Yeah, yeah.
You just needed Edison to make the light first. But because the component hadn't been created, that person's idea might have never come to fruition. Then someone else created the traffic light. Like, and I know that's a silly example, but
it's true.
It's true, innit? Like, and that's to anybody, if you've got a dream, hold fast to your dream, because all you need is the right components to be created, or the perfect storm for that dream to come to fruition. And I think that's why a lot of dreams are in the grave, innit? Yeah. Because either the person wasn't patient enough, the person didn't hold fast onto it, or just the components weren't there at the right time.
Didn't believe as well.
Yeah, they didn't believe.
Didn't believe.
It's just simple, man.
All right, let's speak about the mental health sides, though.
Yeah.
Unconscious bias, innit? So, just the effect of mental health in general in black people as well. So, like, speaking about what you're saying about it holding us back from moving forward and so on, like, what are the sort of impact mentally that you feel like it has on black people?
I think the impact it has on us is that, we doubt ourselves. And I think that doubt is crippling because you might never really feel like you're at that level to get the top job. Yeah. I remember working in a workplace where, I thought that me being a young black boy, we can't let the young black boy have the good job, Yeah. And then your level of work rate starts to drop and you're not doing what you need to be doing. Yeah. You end up coming into work and complaining instead of coming into work and being like, I'm grateful for this job and I'm going to spend every day trying to work hard. And so I think the doubt is a massive thing, because once you doubt yourself, that's it, man. Yeah. You'll make mistakes and you'll make the wrong decisions based off of your doubt.
Because you're the only person that can shape your future. Yeah. That can take you from the next level. Yeah. So where you are to the next level. Yeah. So like, no matter what I say to you, if you don't fully believe, you're not going to get there.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I think a large part of it is that, nowadays, especially in young people, we kill creativity. Yeah. So
even the whole system kills it.
Yeah, it kills it. I saw something literally a week ago, and it was a young boy and his mother were walking in the park, and there was a puddle there. The boy's only like 3 years old, and there's a puddle there. And do you know what we do? When our kid wants to jump in a puddle, we say, hell no, get away from that puddle. You ain't messing up my floor. Do you know what I mean? But you don't understand that the mind of a child works differently. So they jump into that puddle and they experience a whole new world.
Yeah.
And that's the creativity in their mind.
Bro, I always compare that to other races. That I just see the freedom.
Yeah.
Like, no, shut up, be quiet. Like,
yeah.
completely different.
There's a freedom there, innit? Unfortunately for us, the freedom weren't always there.
Yeah.
Like, but a large part of that's out of fear, innit?
Yeah.
But I think that's where we kind of begin to create self-doubt in young people by diminishing that freedom. Can you imagine that from that little boy jumping in that puddle, he might now say to himself, do you know what? I like water so much, I want to be a marine biologist. Now, I'm not saying a 3-year-old's going to say that, but I'm saying just
but that obsession,
that experience, could start there. And we've killed that creativity just because we got our new floors waxed the other week. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I think that's what then creates a cycle of self-doubt, because it's, I could try this, but do you know what? Nah, it's best. I don't think I've got the ability. I don't think I can, because you've always been stopped.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think that's where the reality of it is that as people with that unconscious bias, the doubt springs into mind.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're not doing what you need to do. Anxiety, depression. And I'm not saying that unconscious bias is the root cause of all of these things. These things can happen from various different platforms and ways.
But any sort of negative thinking can lead.
It can trigger
to any form of mental difficulty.
Yeah, it can trigger it. And that's because I think, you know, a large part of it is just our self-belief, going back to what we were talking about before. Do you genuinely believe that you are capable of doing a good job? Do you genuinely believe you're capable of succeeding?
Yeah.
And if you think that, then go for whatever it is you want, no matter how crazy it is. Who's there? Who's there to tell you that your dream is trash? Like,
that's true.
Do you know what I mean? Me and you, we've both got very different dreams.
Yeah.
But I can't tell you your dream is trash.
Yeah.
Like you're doing a good job here. Do you know what I mean? Like, the reality of it is that we can't allow our unconscious bias against ourselves to affect our ability to succeed in life.
Yeah, that's true. What have you noticed yourself, like working with young people? So, like, in fact, tell them what you do in it. Give them a little bit in it. What do you do?
I'm what's known as a.
You can talk what you've done previously as well, and then
all right. So previous to I work in the sporting arena. I've done that kind of for the last 5 years. Previous role where obviously we met was I was working for a football club, and I worked predominantly in schools, where my whole kind of mission was to get young people to succeed and to enjoy school. But a side angle for me was to motivate them to just be different, to be better, to be, you know, I was in a boys' school, so to be young men who, you know, I always say that, you know, my whole methodology was to create, you know, great fathers, great husbands, great businessmen, great leaders, great citizens.
Come on, yeah.
And that was kind of the way that I approached my mentoring, was always with that view. So I moved away from that. I've been working somewhere else for the last few months as a player care officer. So I look after up and coming potential professional football players and making sure that their needs are catered for, and mental health wise, they're where they need to be, and also teaching them life skills. So, you know, how to be a professional, you know, how to deal with the media, you know, relationship goals and aspirations and what to do there, being careful of, you know, people that are only there for your money and all that type of thing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I do on a daily basis.
This guy's a man of his word. Told you. Don't bring no for no reason, innit?
That's what I do on a daily basis.
Have you noticed anything, let's say the black guys, innit? Like the young ones, like in terms of like their mindset, like have you noticed anything that stood out to you?
I think one thing that stands out to me is that a lot of black boys, you know, you ask them, what do you want to be when you grow up, and none of them can tell you. And that's not a major issue. You know, if you're 14, 15, 16, 17, I don't expect you to know.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with not knowing. But when I ask them, what are you passionate about? They can't even tell me that. And that's what's scary, because what do you want to be is different from what are you passionate about? What do you like? If you like sitting around in your pajamas eating pizza all day, tell me that. Because I might say, maybe you should think about being a chef. Or maybe you should think about, you know, trying to be that man versus food, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But if you can't tell me anything, do you know what I mean? I say to these young boys, so what do you do when you go home? Nothing. You don't watch Netflix? Nah, I don't watch Netflix. You listen to music? Sometimes. Like, you just can't tell me. And that's what's scary, because even if you told me that, when I get home, I get changed and I sit out on the block, I at least I know you do something. But when you don't do nothing, that's the scariest thing. And I think for young black boys, that's one of the things I get all the time. Like they don't do nothing.
Was there any sort of like barriers you have seen in their mindset though? Like how they overcome situations or their forward thinking, their positive thinking? Like, is there more negative thinking from them as well? Like, have you seen any sort of like generational things that have been passed down? Or do you feel like there's some sort of positive change occurring?
I think there's always positive change.
Yeah.
And I think when you have individuals like ourselves who are in, we work with young people, we get to pass down the messages we want to pass down.
Yeah.
So we create the positivity we want to see in young people. I think parents can be the biggest problem to the development of a child, because you can hold your child back and not even know it. You can have unrealistic expectations, and your own lifestyle can resonate with your child. If you're doing nothing, your kid's going to think it's all right to do nothing. And I think that's some of the stuff that I had struggled with in seeing or working with the young boys I was working with, that mum and dad are, well, I hate saying it because I've been fortunate enough to have my dad in my life.
Yeah.
My parents are married. But when the men aren't there, it's hard. It's hard because mum shouldn't have to be mum and dad.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Someone said a statement to me a few weeks ago, Colin, like you guys will see him soon eventually, but he just said mothers train or raise their daughters, but they serve their sons. So they really train their daughters like how to be a woman, how to deal with like their periods, whatever, like be potentially a good wife and so on, like proper give them teaching and so on. But their sons, they just serve them. So they don't actually learn how to be a man and so on, or like what it takes to be a better version of themselves and so on. So like he was just emphasizing how important it is for a man to actually be the person that does that. Yeah.
I think it's facts.
Yeah.
I will never be able to teach my daughters how to be good wives.
Yeah.
I can't. What do I know about being a wife? Do you know what I mean? And it's not a slight against women, but you can't teach you can't teach a male child how to be a good husband. You can advise him how to look after his wife.
Yeah.
Two different things.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But you can't teach him how to be a husband, because that's something that the father is there to do.
Yeah.
Now, that's not diminishing the role of mothers, because there are some mothers that are out there working 2 jobs, have a whole lot of stress, have 2 kids to raise, 3 kids to raise, and they're doing it perfectly by themselves, and they have successful children. Hand clap credit to those mothers. But the fact of the matter is that the job is easier when there's 2 of you involved. It's facts.
Facts. 100%.
Facts.
Yeah.
Now, that's the problem, I think, for the lot of boys that I met and I've worked with. It's the fact that dad's not there. And
you really see the impact.
You see the impact. You see the impact, because a lot of these boys, there's hatred towards dad. Some of them don't even know dad. Some of them, dad might have passed away, but in most senses, there's hatred towards dad because he left my mum. He left us. And that's sad. That is so sad. One of my closest friends who I love to bits, he's had experiences in his own with his own father and everything. And when I see him hurting sometimes, it hurts me, because I'm like, I love my brother. He means a lot to me. And it's because of one person's recklessness that he has suffered in the past. You know what I mean? And I think it's key that, we educate our boys now on the relevance of being there. Yeah. On how much it means to be there. Because when the father isn't there, you can see how difficult things get. For the mother especially, but for the community, man. Like, fathers need to realize that not being there isn't just spiting the mother, the child, is spiting the community, and it's spiting future generations. Because that boy is learning how to be I don't like saying how to be a man, because what does that even mean? But is learning how to grow as a male from a female, when really and truthfully a male should be there to impart wisdom onto him. I think a female child and a male child, boys and girls, grow better when there's an influence from both a male and a female. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it makes sense, man. Like, I'm just trying to think what stops that cycle from being repeated. because like obviously it's a hard one.
It's a hard one, man.
Even the hatred that, let's say, a young person might have towards their father, a lot of the time they end up doing the exact same thing.
Yeah. It's tough because there are some boys that grow up and they become model fathers. Great. There are some that do exactly the same things their dads did.
So like, some things have changed. That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't want to have the same repeated behavior. Like, even us with our mentality and so on, like, there has to be some cut-off point for something new to come forth. And otherwise, I think it's just going to be the same thing.
It's going to be the same thing. But I think it's difficult because my answer immediately was going to be education. But I've realized, like, in the whole kind of football and racism debate, the answer always seems to be education. And we're always like, but no educating is being done. Yeah. I do think it is education, but
even what is education? Because it's not maybe their education that they're suggesting.
So I think it's, so when I was in schools, I was cutthroat with it. Yeah. So being like doing pastoral work, you get to have conversations that are a little bit deeper than the surface level, which I think they call it PSHCE or whatever, like that citizenship stuff. The conversation I was able to have were a lot deeper. Yeah. So I'd say to my boys, I'd say, look, if you want to talk about drugs, we can talk about drugs. Yeah. If you want to talk about sex, we can talk about sex. If you want to talk about knife crime, we can talk about knife crime, gangs. We can talk about whatever you want. It's an open space, but we're going to be real. Yeah. And that's what needs to happen. That's the educating that needs to happen. You need to be real. Yeah. None of this whole like Mary and Peter met each other at school and they've gone behind the bike shed. None of that nonsense. Yeah. Like, be real about the consequences. Yeah. If you make this decision, you will have a child and you have to look after that child. If you walk away from this child, statistics show that 1, 2, 3, 4 are the possibilities that child walks into. Yeah. Be real. Like I don't really get why we're not just being honest with our young people about how their decisions can affect them, their parents, their child to be, and future generations. We're just not being real. And I think that's the type of educating we need to do. Stop kind of this, beating around the bush stuff and just be real with it. Because the reality of it is that me and you have had to learn the hard way. No one ever had these conversations with us to this degree. When we went to school, there was no pastoral care. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? There was no welfare officer. We've got all of these amazing things now to support our young people, but we're not really supporting. We're just like ticking boxes out here.
Facts, man. I say nothing, boy. What would you say is the taking point, though? What should people take from our conversations today? Because, like, not gonna lie, we said a lot of things. So,
I mean, if there are 3 things that I can really kind of use as taking points, I think the first thing is to realize that understanding inside yourself when you're being unconsciously biased. Do you know what I mean? Understand when you're denying yourself the opportunity to progress, whether it be through your own fear or through your own lack of desire or through whatever else. Like, if you really want something, you're gonna go for it, innit? Yeah. Like I think Eric Thomas said, like, you need to want something as bad as you want to breathe. Sounds crazy when you think about it, but it's true. That's mad. Do you know what I mean? So I'd say that's one. I'd also say, like, understand when the dream isn't actually your dream. Like Inception, like, has that been planted into you? Because I think a lot of people in our community are suffering because they're chasing goals that monetary wise are amazing goals, but bringing you no happiness. And that's the saddest thing. Like, I hate when I see it because, we all want to be happy. We all want to be successful. Yeah. But that happiness is a driving factor as well. That's what wakes you up in the morning. Yeah. So understand when the dream just wasn't your dream. And I think the last thing is just like what we just spoke about, innit? We just really need to stop this whole beating around the bush nonsense and just educate our kids. If we don't educate our kids, the people on the other end are going to give them the wrong education. Yeah. And that's where I think we've been falling short lately. Our kids are being educated in the wrong way because we're not prepared to do the educating.
Hey, man, let Johnathan read you though. Nah, it's facts. What I would say as well is just like for us to just focus on our mentality, like how we can develop that and just create something new. Yeah, like we need to start holding ourselves back, placing barriers, making false assumptions to just keep us in the same place. Because like we've had the conversations many times, but we're not seeing any sort of growth. Or if we are, it's very minimal.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you genuinely have something that you want to carry out, go for it. Like we said, there's many good ideas in the grave, innit? And I don't want that to happen to you. So continue with that. I would also say try and connect with one another, innit?
Yeah, 100%.
And allow yourself to be vulnerable, innit?
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's the only way you can grow. If we choose to just stay safe, we're never really going to test out whether our theory was correct or not. And also, it just encourages fear. And action cures fear.
Yeah.
So that's the only way for us to move on.
I agree.
Through action.
I agree.
So that's all I'll say personally. What's like your last message for your brothers and sisters?
No, last message.
Last message.
Ooh,
what's in your heart? What's in your heart? It can even be something completely different to what we've discussed just now. But like, what is your message?
I mean,
to everyone listening.
I mean, my message, like, is I kind of sometimes, you know, when you try and you be all philosophical and stuff.
Yeah.
I think kind of my message is the reality of it is in this life, you got to do what others aren't prepared to do to get to where others can't get to. And I think all that really means is that each and every one of us is able to reach a desired level. You know, I'd love, and I'm putting it out there just in case anyone sees this and says, oh, we want to hire this guy. But I'd love to work in broadcasting. Would love to. You know, you see, I don't know, you see those broadcasters out there, BBC Sport News, or I'd love to broadcast the news. I'd love to. But I need to be able to see a pathway for me to get there. Yeah. And I need to be able to do what others aren't prepared to do. Now, I say that within reason, because if you want to be rich, don't mean you have to rob a bank. Yeah. But Confucius said that he who hesitates is lost. And too many of us are hesitating. I'm guilty of it. Like, you know, I'm hesitating. Oh, should I release my own podcast? Should I? Oh, you know what? Let me wait a couple months. Let me wait till my situation dies down. Yeah. How long is my situation going to die down from now? Yeah. Like, I'm 28. Marriage and kids are on the way at some point. Yeah. My situation becomes hella mad at that point. Yeah. So, you know, if you want it, go for it. Find a way to get it. Like you said, if you got to connect with people, if you got to, you know, do whatever you can to get to the goal and get to the dream. Because again, wealth's not going to get you out of the ends. It's the mentality you have.
Hey, I'm going to leave that there. I don't want to talk here for that. But obviously, Johnathan Reed, come on, my guy. Do you want to drop your socials, your LinkedIn, anything?
Yeah, boy. LinkedIn, Johnathan Reed. You know, there's hundreds of Johnathan Reeds. I have such a basic name.
Don't worry, I'll put in the description as well.
Yeah, you'll see me. I've got a picture there with my cream coat and a cheesy smile. Yeah. Socials, read all about it. So read all about _it. Yeah, just like my man Dan, podcast will be coming out soon, and some little stuff, websites coming out as well. Trying to motivate young people to just be successful and chase their goals. But no, man, thank you for having me, man. It's been a long time coming, bro.
Don't worry, he'll be back. And obviously, like he says, he's going to do his own podcast as well, innit? So stay tuned for that. All right, we'll end that there.